And good morning, everybody. All right, I gotta move this. Have to move my headsets because it's giving me a delay, and it's not working out for me. So I can't wear the headphones unless somebody calls in. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Um, this is episode 1 of Let's Talk Depression. Let's see. Where do I start? Okay, I got the room set up, lighting down, got my coffee, got my medication, and I'm just ready to roll out. I started this podcast because of we have a major problem in this country, and it's called mental illness. I always told people we don't have racial issues, we don't have that issue, we don't have this issue, we don't have all these issues. And nobody wants to address the real point of mental illness. And depression is one of them. I know because I suffer from depression. This is very new to me, but you'll know why when I continue my story. Like I said, I started this channel or this podcast for people like me that go to try to get help, but are urged to take medication instead of actually getting help. And my belief is if you just medicate people, you're not solving the problem. You're just putting a Band-Aid on the big solution. Again, you can call at 407-900-7952. And being depressed is not fun. We don't need medication. We actually just need somebody to listen to us. And it'll work out better that way if people just listen. So I figured instead of getting a doctor, I'll just put my stuff out here and we'll go from there. I'll start with my story. And then when people call in when they're comfortable to call in, they can call in and we can listen to their situation. These episodes could take anywhere between 5 minutes to hours. It depends how long I want to talk. And if a lot of people know me, I can ramble. But the best thing about it is I won't get interrupted. I could just talk and I can get my point across. And if anybody calls in, I could just stop and listen to them. And if I continue mine, I could just listen back to the recording and know where it's at. I have ADHD as well. So I'm one of those people. If I talk and you interrupt me, then I totally forgot what I was telling you. It's weird, but it happens. People say it's the THC. I disagree with that. I just think it's just me having my selective hearing, I guess if you want to call it that. But my story is a very simple story, probably very, how can we put this? Very typical. But I never really suffered from depression because I was always a happy guy. I did okay with the ladies back in the day. Never really had any issues. I guess I was depressed because I didn't find the one that I love until now. But we'll get into that later on in other episodes because that's fast forwarding it. I want to go from the very beginning. I'm talking from the very beginning when little Oscar was little Oscar. And this right here will help me out. You know what I mean? It'll get my my mind cleared. And all I really wanted was just somebody to listen to. So how did I get depressed? I got depressed about almost 5 years ago. I wound up having a massive heart attack. This massive heart attack basically killed half of my heart because I had 100% blockage in the left side of my heart. For like an hour and a half. Doctors are like, we're surprised you're still here. When you kind of get that answer, your mind starts to go, especially if you have a family and you're the supporter and you're the one making sure this family has food on the table. My wife works as well, don't get me wrong. She puts some food on the table now and she works very hard. But having two incomes was a lot better than just one. So about 5 years, like I said, 5 years ago, the heart attack. When a man has a heart attack and is down the way I am, I'm very old fashioned if people don't know me. I'm very old school. I believe in old school values. Meaning, I don't consider disciplining your children as violence. Some people do. I don't. I consider it discipline. We must discipline our children because if not, they become psychopaths like they are now. Today, as a matter of fact, they stormed the Capitol building. And yeah, those are psychopaths. Those are people that just shouldn't even be walking the streets. But it takes a toll on you having a heart attack and being told that you can't work. And, you're basically getting put out to pasture. In the process of even going through the system to try to get your disability, it's another story. That's a whole big game in itself. So having a heart attack, having no insurance, not being prepared wasn't really in the cards for me. It wasn't planned that way. And when they're told to you're told to that you can't do that, support your family anymore. Like I said, it takes a toll on you. I'm sorry, I got mistracked here. I'm new to this Podbean live stuff, so I have a Marat B there. Thank you for being there. If I get distracted, I look, so sorry about that. How you doing? Anyway, like I said, to catch up, having that heart attack started my depression, my fallback to depression. And like I said, going through the system was a semi of a joke. And finally getting there, it's just like, why even bother? What's this about? Well, this is about depression, basically. We have a big problem in this country, and it's depression. And there's no help for people like me. Like I was telling my story, it's a simple problem. How is that problem very simple? If you'd like to call and explain, you're more than welcome. I have a line open, 407 900 7952. And you don't have to give your name. But yeah, I like people to call me and tell me their stories as I'm telling mine. But anyway, as I go through the system to try to get disability and not working, not to be able to support my family, kind of brings a toll into a man, and almost brings him down to his lowest point. A year and a half ago, I went nuts, left the house, and had all these suicidal thoughts in my head. And was driving around all night, trying to figure out how to end it. One was driving off a bridge, but I thought if that didn't work, I'd live a very, very miserable life. Then it was driving into a brick wall at a very high rate of speed. But again, you also run that chance of surviving and living a miserable life. I went downtown to downtown Orlando, where I live in Orlando. And it was like a weekend, like a Friday or Saturday. And and the cops are out. And just looking at them like that suicide by cop thing. They kind of stuff like that always works. But again, I'm more of a coward than anything because I decided not to do it. And I went up sleeping it off in some parking lot. Woke up about 4 a.m. and my wife convinced me to come home. I came home and decided to get some help. I reached out for help during all this by going on Facebook and just starting, laying out some of my issues. I had some phone calls and some messages. And I got messages from a couple friends, and they sent me I did 3 phone numbers that day. It was a Saturday. Me and my wife are laying in bed, and we're just looking through these numbers. And I called the first one, nobody answered. I called the second one. They put me on hold for like ever. And then they finally get on there and they tell me, oh, yeah, they can help me. You should be great. We could do it, whatever you need. I said, all I need is somebody to listen to me. They're like, oh, we can do that for you. No, it's just not money problems. It's more like health problems. I'm half dead. Sorry, I'm responding to the text here. And see the issue when I get distracted, I forget what I'm saying. Now you just got a perfectly good example of what I was talking about. But yeah, I was in the laying in bed. So we're laying in bed, and I call up. Oh, the lady was like, "Yeah, we'll do everything." Blah 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 blah. All excited, all into it. I was like, "Wow, finally gonna get some help." And then she's like, "Yeah, let's make your appointment." Made my appointment, and then she's like, "Well, all we need is your insurance." I was like, "Oh, I don't have insurance." And she's like, "Oh, then we can't help you." I was like, "Wow, all right, thank you." And then, like I said, the first number I called, nobody answered. My wife is like, maybe they don't work on the weekends. And I said, yeah, because nobody commits suicide on the weekends. They all wait till Monday morning. So the third number I called was a number that they would take me with no insurance. And I was happy to oblige by that. I was like, cool, finally. I get there, they're real nice people. I sat there, and then I met I guess the doctor I was supposed to talk to. She was this young girl, looked like she just got out of high school. And I made a comment saying that I think my situation is for somebody a little bit older. And she's like, no, she's an intern, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, like I said, I think my thing is a little bit more serious than just an intern. I need somebody with experience so that way they can tell me how screwed up I am at the end. So I sat with her the first session. She asked me questions. I'm like, okay. Then they wanted me to see the nurse practitioner. I'm like, why do I need to see the nurse practitioner? She's like, because they take care of you with the medication. So I didn't come here for medication. I came here for somebody to just listen to me. Anyway, so we had this little discussion about the nurse practitioner. I had another appointment. Came back in. Sat there again. She asked me the same question she just asked me the week before. And then again, stressed out that I need to see the nurse practitioner. And again, I stressed out that I didn't come here for medication, and I want to know, when is somebody going to listen to me instead of you asking me questions, the same questions every time I come here. So she didn't kind of like my answer, because I was getting aggravated. I'm like, okay, I'm here for 2 days now, and all you guys pushing me to get some drugs, and I'm not really into pills. I take about 13 of them now. So then we have another appointment with the nurse practitioner. The next week I come in, the third time. So I come in and I sit down, and I'm filling out this information. And there's a few people there. And this one lady was there. And I was just mentioning, I was like, man, I really don't want to do this for the medication. And she comments, she's like, that's the only reason I come here is for the medication. I'm like, no, I'm not all into that. You know what I mean? You could have all that medication you want. I just want somebody to listen to me. But I filled it out. So this other young kid comes out. Again, he must look like he just got out of high school. So he sits next to me and tells me he's an intern for the nurse practitioner, and he's gonna start out my questionnaires and whatever. I was like, all right, that's what you guys think. So we go into this little office, and he's asking me all these questions, and I'm answering them. We get to the point about I told him that I was diagnosed with bipolar about 13 years prior. And he turns around and tells me, he goes, I don't think you're bipolar. And I'm like, what made you say that? He goes, just by talking to you. So from there, my temper went from very, very calm to extremely angry. And I said, what gives you the right to say, diagnose me in 3.5 minutes that we just talked? And you're already diagnosing me, I'm not bipolar. After I went through months of therapy with my shrink, for her to say to me at the end, take these pills, you're bipolar. Again, he didn't like my answer. So off I go to the nurse practitioner. I go to the nurse practitioner's office, and there with the young man. And I was getting mad because you're pushing these kids on me, and I'm more than an intern kind of case, if you want to call it. I'm more of a mental fucking case. And you're going to throw these kids at me who have no idea what they're doing yet. And I just need somebody to talk to. So I'm in that office blaring. I mean, I'm in tears now because even though I'm a guy and I'm a big guy and I could fight and I could do everything, I have this emotional streak that comes from my mom. That every time I talk about myself, my family, my kids, my voice starts to crack, and there goes the waterfalls. It's not intentional; it just happens. I consider it a sign of weakness. A lot of people say it's not. I say it is. Like I said, I'm old school, so to me, crying is a sign of weakness, and it's something I cannot control. And I always tell people, I'm like, when they see me crying and they say something to me, I say, look, yes, I do cry. All right. But you know what? I could kick your ass and you get to go home and tell your wife that you got your ass kicked by a crying guy. So don't fuck with me. So I'm sitting in that office in tears. And I say, why is everybody just trying to put medication down my throat? I said, all I came here to do is for somebody to listen to me. That nurse practitioner from that particular place turned around and said to me, you want somebody to listen to you? Get an Uber. The driver will listen to you. I swear on my kids, my wife, my life, the little bit of life I have left, everything, that's exactly what she said. I bugged out. I looked at her and said, you know what? If they find me hanging somewhere, you know who caused it. At that point, I knew there was no help for people like me out there. At that point, I was just lost. Didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say. I got tons of people calling me up, messaging me, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. They don't understand that I can't talk to them. I don't know. It's a thing. Just you got to talk to somebody. I guess you have no relation to whatsoever. That's when I came up with this idea. I said, you know what? If I could talk to a shrink, then I could talk to a microphone, and I could lay out all my problems out here. And as I'm getting cured, putting my problems out there, I can help other people with their problems. And they can call me, and they can talk, and they can get it out. Because to be honest with you, man, all we really need is an outlet. An outlet, not just medicinal. I smoke every day. It keeps me alive. Not cigarettes, by the way, so don't go down my throat. And it helps me. It keeps me alive. All right, I got Smarty. I have bipolar. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Bro, I'm sorry. Are you a woman or a guy? Smarty could be both names. Oh, it's a dude. Okay. I'm almost blind, so if I can't see that, don't get offended. Please just correct me. Don't get mad at me. I'm here to help people. I'm not here to argue. I'm done arguing. I hate arguing, and I hate people that argue for every little thing. I'm going through a lot of crap right now. I have a 14-year-old daughter who thinks she knows everything. And she has like become the biggest, so she was the sweetest kid. I don't know what's wrong with kids, man, after they turn 13. It's just that terrible 2 switch just turns on. Right now, we're at the point that we're not talking, so we'll just leave it like that for now, for a little while. You can call in. Absolutely, you can call in. You got the number? It's 407-900-7952. And we can talk. I'm new at this stuff, so if I don't get it right the first time, let's see here. Connect. Hello?
Hey, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right.
So you suffer from depression as well?
I got bipolar and schizoaffective disorder.
Really? Are you taking medication?
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, like I said, I put this podcast because I have my own issues and I have nobody to talk to. So I figure I do it like this. My wife asked me, why do I do it at midnight? I said, because depressed people don't sleep. It's the best time. So what's your situation, buddy?
There's just nobody to talk to. There's nobody to talk to. I'm kind of on the outskirts of society because of my mental illness. I think that's the only reason. I mean, there's a lot of things about me that aren't regular. I'm part black and part white, but I don't know if that really matters because I don't fit in with black people. I don't fit in with white people, but I think it's just a mental illness thing. I think mental illness is just all encompassing.
No, I hear you. I totally agree with you. That's why. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't even think it's the fact that I don't fit in with any race. I don't fit in with any. I'm not gay, but I can't get women. I think it's just the bipolar.
Well, as far as I know, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just say it's schizoaffective disorder.
Right. So as far as I know, being bipolar is like you just go from 0 to 60, like good mood to bad at mood in like less than 2 seconds, like I do. Okay, I'm the type of person that I'll hold everything in. Okay, everybody will mess with me and everything, and I'll hold it in, and I call it the drop the pen effect. I drop a pen, and right there, that sets me off for everything that pisses me off. That's my understanding of bipolarism. Um, and you say you have schizo too?
Schizoaffective disorder.
Uh-huh.
It's like schizophrenia.
Okay. So what? Like, I'm not a pro here. I'm no doctor. I'm just a regular guy. If you don't mind, let me know what that is. Like, what does that make you think?
So schizophrenia is more about the it's more along okay. So bipolar, from what I've read and heard, is it's like it was called manic depression before,
Mm-hmm.
like in the 50s. So mania is just getting really high and happy and feeling good, and then episodes of depression, which are obvious, a little bit more obvious to most people, just feeling down and bad. And schizophrenia is more the hallucinations along with the highs and the lows. So the hallucinations can be also delusions. So hallucinations can be auditory, visual, and sometimes you can they're even taste. Um,
And you had that experience?
I've had the auditory and the visual.
Visual, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
nothing really major.
Right.
Not
No.
like not like a beautiful mind. He was tripping out on a different level, but he still had the visual hallucinations. I oh, another thing about the schizophrenia is paranoia goes along with it. Sometimes it's called paranoid schizophrenia.
Right.
So paranoia is heavy in it, and that's where I get most of my hallucinations are from the paranoia. I
Uh-huh.
think I see people coming behind me or something, like especially late at night or something.
Now,
Or go ahead.
let me ask you something. When you're having these episodes, you hearing people, seeing people, whatever, are you high on anything?
No, I actually take medication.
Okay, so you don't do like
No,
acid.
I've never been high on acid or
Oh,
not.
okay.
I've never even done coke. The highest thing I've ever done is marijuana.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, marijuana is a cure for everything. But yeah, so I've never been on that part of the spectrum. I've never even gotten paranoid when I smoke pot or I've done coke. I mean, I partied my ass off back in the 80s, 90s, I'm lucky I'm still here. Maybe that's part of my having a bad heart. But I have my share of acid and hallucinogens, and it does make you hallucinate. I was a teenager and I was tripping on acid. I don't know, you're a young guy, so you probably would know this little character Gazoo was in the Flintstones thing, cartoons back in the day, and I used to see him. But like I said, I was already tripping, so that was my deal. But you were getting to that you say you don't fit in because you have black, have white. I mean, I I'm that way too, to a point, because I have a different clique of friends, and those friends don't know each other. You see what I'm saying? So, because I'm Spanish and my wife is white. When when I was in high school, I was basically shamed for hanging out with white people. You know,
Yeah, that's some bullshit, man.
I know. I didn't get it. I was like, why can't I just hang out with people I like to hang out? You know, Spanish people didn't like me because you like that, and I don't like Spanish music. I'm not I'm not into all that. I'm not into the Spanish culture or anything. I was born in Peru. I moved here when I was 4, and then I was raised here. I was raised basically American style. You know, I'm not saying that their cultures are bad. It's just it wasn't my thing. You know, I was always into rock. You know, so hung out with the white people, I guess. So that's what you want to call it. I don't look at people as colors. You know what I mean? I don't look at people at all like that, because there's asshole in all different colors. You know what I mean? I have black friends, I have white friends, I have Puerto Rican friends, I have Mexican friends, I have, you know, Asian friends. I have friends all over the place. You know, I get called a racist because I'm a all lives matter kind of guy. You know, I love everybody. I think everybody should have, you know, their own thing, but you know, you don't have to bitch about it every single fucking time. Um, but like I was
So,
saying, well, go ahead. This is
nah,
more,
what were you saying?
you know what I mean? I made this for you guys, so I'm just filling in with my stories until somebody calls in, and then I concentrate on you, because anything you say, somebody else could go through and get that help. You see what I'm saying?
So to me, what's really messed up is the freedom that some people preach that is needed for minorities by minorities. Like when people are like, when a minority, and I'm a minority, if I was to say like I'm not free, but then I don't allow another minority or even anybody to be free because I don't allow them to think for themselves. I don't allow them to, if they want to hang out with white people, let them hang out with white people. If they want to hang out with black people, let them hang out with black people.
Right.
And and it's like I wasn't born in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I can understand that all that happened, right? But I wasn't born in it. So why do I have to accede to those type of rules that say, you know, that you have to act a certain way if you're a certain color
Yeah.
or a
See,
certain race?
those are the idiots talking, and the people that follow are the idiots that follow. Like I said in the very beginning of this
But
podcast,
see, I don't understand that because there's like a million idiots and there's like two of us talking. So it's easy to say that they're idiots, but then again, they running shit. And I'm
right,
in the room talking to you.
see, but the thing is,
Still depressed.
I'm
Just
saying, what I'm saying is the idiots are the people that make this stuff up and make other people believe it, that it's true. Okay. Like inequality in this country. We don't have inequality in this country anymore. We did years ago, but today, no. I mean, today, black, white, yellow, or green, you could be whatever you want as long as you put the work in. Okay, it don't matter. It don't matter if you're gay. It don't matter if you're straight. It don't matter if you know whatever. You know, you could do anything you want as long as you put 110% and actually do something. You know what I mean? Bitching about something that has nothing to do with anything, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? And like I said, these people are the ones that make the rules. You know, like I said, I don't want to get in political or anything, and I don't want to get into like a racial thing either, because we could go on forever. Okay, but when I'm 53. So back in my day, yeah, we did say the N word a lot, because that was a derogatory thing towards a certain group of people, not just black people, the bad black people. That's what. And we had white people too that we called the N word too. It was just a thing, but we just said it without knowing, because it was just nothing back then. It was just a word. Now it's offensive. Okay, fine. We're not going to use that anymore. So we went from being black to being African American. I'm like, why are you African American? You never been to Africa. If you never been there, how are you going to claim yourself to being there? So then we're going from African American, and the one that I hate the most is people of color. That is the worst term to say, because back in the 60s and the 50s, they used to call black people colored people. And when I hear people of color, I hear colored people. That's me. You know what I mean? And I think I'm like, wow, that is like so racist. To me, I'd rather be white, black, yellow, blue, green, whatever color you are, simple. Everybody's the same. You know what I mean? But I don't judge people for what their races are. Like, I don't say, this is my black friend so and so, or this is my white friend so and so. You know what I mean? It's not, when people throw in a race in front of a sentence that they're going to say, that's a racist statement. Okay, because there's no need for you to say, okay, this is my friend so and so, he's black. What does him have to be black have to do with anything? You know what I mean? He's just a guy. But like I said, there's the other problem we have in this country besides illness is we have a lot of followers. People just follow every little thing. It's like I have, like, I don't know, over 3,000 people in my Facebook. I'll post something like real important. Okay, like I'm doing this 25 push-up challenge for fighting cancer. So I got to do 25 push-ups every day, videotape and send it in. Okay, I get a lot of views, but nobody shares it, nobody comments, nobody donates money to Cancer Society, nothing. I'll put the stupidest thing on there. Okay, all of a sudden I get all these views, all these shares, and this and that. I'm like, what are you people like looking at? You know what I mean? You rather spew bullshit than something that actually matters. You know what I mean? Cancer actually matters. It's killing people every day. I have one good friend of mine that died of it. I have another good friend that has it, and he's trying to beat it. But that's why I do it. I have a half a heart. You know what I mean? Half of my heart's dead, but I try to do something because I have a little amount of time left in this world, and I want to try to do something good for people. You know what I mean? Before I go, I'm not a very religious person at all. Okay, I'm not a very spiritual person either. But I believe in karma, and me doing this here and talking to you and hoping that you get your whatever you need to get out and say, you know what, I feel a lot better the next day. You know what I mean? Because I know when I get up tomorrow morning, I'm gonna feel better just for talking this stuff a little bit that I talked about myself. You know what I mean? And I'll feel better because hopefully you'll get the stuff out that you need to talk about. But anyway, do you have kids? Are you married?
Nah, none of that has worked out for me.
No?
Nah, none of that has worked out for
How
me.
old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
43.
43?
Yeah.
No current girlfriend?
Nah, none of that has worked out for me, man.
Wow.
I got diagnosed when I was 21.
I mean, you seem like an easygoing guy. I mean,
That's
it's
because
just
I'm trying to
every
stay
once in a
calm.
while, you just, I don't want to say freak out, but, freak out.
It's not about freaking out or not freaking out. It's just the way I see the world is not the way. I
The
don't
way
know. I don't know if freaking out. I don't know if that's.
Well, no, don't get it, dude. Don't get it misconstrued. I say stuff sometimes, and it doesn't mean not like me freaking out. It's like me having an episode getting mad. You know what I mean? That's me freaking out.
Well,
Don't.
everybody gets mad, then everybody freaks out.
Oh, dude, you don't get mad like I do. I get mad. I want to burn this motherfucker down. Yeah, I get very angry, and it's you. Okay, you ever hear about like you ever hear of the Hulk?
Yeah,
The
everybody. Yeah.
Hulk, right? You know who the Hulk is? The green guy. Okay, when he turns into the Hulk, he it's like slowly progresses. You know what I mean? If you see the old shows, you see his eyes turn green, and then starts getting mad, and and everything starts blowing up on him, and everything starts growing, and then he starts turning green, and the greener he gets, the madder he gets. That's exactly what I go through. And then it just gets to a point that I get so mad that I'm uncontrollable. Like I said, I could literally burn my house down and not give a shit. Burn everything down and not even care. To me, I'm a psychopath. I'm, I'm very bad. You know what I mean? But yeah, the term freaking out just means like an episode or whatever. Not nothing bad. Don't get that. Don't get that wrong. I'm not dissing you.
No, I
I
wouldn't
like
say that.
myself. But yeah. So the women don't get the way you think
I
about.
don't know what it is. It's just
Okay, let's put it this
life doesn't work. That's why I'm calling in, because the topic says let's talk depression.
way. Mhm.
I am prototype depression. I have lived for 20 years. I've been depressed more than 20 years, about 20, 22 probably years. I've been depressed. I was kicked out of the Marine Corps. I was I've been to jail. I've been in 2 state hospitals. I've been to 6 prisons altogether. I've been homeless for 9 years. Um, I've been shot and hit. So
So
that's what
what?
I've been going through. That's depression. That's different. That's not, it can't really get through everything that, can't process everything that has actually happened to me.
Right.
This is like calling in, like seeing that let's talk depression. It's like maybe it's a place where I can process a little bit.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we start from the beginning? Because I got time. You know what I mean? I'm retired. Um, I got nothing to do but wake up in the morning. So why don't we start from the beginning?
I
As
actually
far as
wrote
you
some of
remember,
this down.
what's that?
I actually wrote some of this down.
Go ahead, read it to me, brother. I'm here for you.
I call it black and white.
Go ahead.
My name is Mardi Gras Benton. My life has been strange. I'm going to try and relate my journey to you. I have been homeless. I was locked up 6 years of my life. I have been shot. I was in the Marine Corps. I was a foster child. I'm writing because, one, I want to tell my story. Two, hopefully someone relates. Three, Maybe someone young will read my story and know the world isn't such a lonely place. I've been there too. My first memory in life was getting a piece of something to eat from my dad. I didn't like it. That is actually a little bit prophetic. I believe I was sleeping on my mom's stomach. I woke up and she was holding me. I remember eating tar in either Albuquerque or Sacramento with my brother Tukalit and my sister Valentine. We were with some older kids I remember as Big John and Little John. I remember getting roller skates and a bunch of other toys from my Uncle Valson in Sacramento. My father threw them away shortly thereafter. Before I truly get started, let me say this is not the story of a father I hated and blamed for everything. I absolutely adored and looked up to my father. To me, he was the epitome of manhood as a child. I also forgive him here and now in writing for any wrongs or perceived misdeeds he caused me. My next memory was getting on the Greyhound bus. At the time, I didn't know to where. I know now it was San Francisco, California. I remember my brother and sister. They told me I had magic and that if I hit the button that pushed the seat back, the bus would start. They must have signaled the bus driver or something because they said, close my eyes and push the button, and the bus started. It was the first time I ever felt any kind of power. I had early memories of San Francisco, but my earliest was catching a bus to General Hospital. My mother was pregnant with my little brother, who would be named Frisco, in honor of the city he would be born. I remember having a hamburger and 7-Up across the street from the hospital at a little diner. I was 3 years, 5 months, and 21 days old. From there, my memory became a bit clearer. Hopefully, my story will too. My father was black, my mother was white. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and 1 sister that died, to my knowledge, of crib death. My father was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, in a so called shotgun shack, named because I was told if you shot a shotgun through the front door, it was so small it would go straight through the back. My father was a complex character, and I can't help but think that a lot of the things that I went through as a child, and certainly as an adult, my dad also went through. I can only imagine a black man with a white woman in the 50s or thereabouts. I can only imagine the punishments my dad went through from his mom. Punishments like kneeling on uncooked rice in the corner on bare knees in the kitchen. My mom also told me of a time my dad got his teeth knocked out by another neighborhood boy, and his mother wouldn't let him back in the house until he went and fought the other boy again. That was tough. That was rough. I know I've been through a lot with my dad, but at 43, I feel a lot of what he put me through was just readying me for a tough life that he knew lay, waiting in the wings. My mother was born in Maine. She, from my knowledge, was born into an upper middle class family. I heard from my mom that I think it was an uncle of hers had invested in IBM at the beginning of its being a company. My mother had been in a couple of mental hospitals, she told me, when I was an adult. Also, an uncle of hers had committed suicide. With all these issues, myself and my siblings were brought into this world. Myself and 3 brothers and a sister were living together with my mother and father in a hotel in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco, a district that was and is filled with a lot of things kids should probably not be around. Poverty, homeless people, trash, prostitutes, the smell of piss in alleys and doorways, alcohol, drugs. The hotel was the Columbia Hotel at 411 O'Farrell. It's still there. You can Google it. We lived in room number 220. My father had knocked down the door/wall to the apartment next door to us that was accessible once one passed through the bathroom. We called that room the back room. The front was the front room. My mother usually slept in the back room, and my sisters, Maggie and Doobie, who had been left in the care of my father's friends in West Covina, California, slept there when they visited and later came to live with us. We also shared the hotel room with the lice in our hair and on our bodies. At least 2 types of roaches, spiders, fleas at times, cats that we loved, fruit flies, mice, rats, violence, and various other filth. It was a nasty place. I also never had more fun than there. I also had more fun there than anywhere else in my life. Myself, Tukalit Valentine, Doodoo was her nickname, and even little Frisco would ball socks up and play everything from baseball to sock fight with them. My eldest brother, Christmas, was sent away to juvenile hall in San Francisco because my father said he couldn't control him. That man went through and may still be going through his own personal hell. My father, I mentioned, threw away toys, and this continued in San Francisco. We kids had the greatest imaginations. Socks became baseballs. Turkey neck bones, yes, turkey neck bones, we let dry and turned them into Star Wars fighters. We called them Roonies. We would also shoplift toy cars from stores whenever we got the chance. Tuglet would bring home baseball and Star Wars cards, which we would set up at an angle from the floor to the wall. And with the other cards in the deck, we would try to knock them down. We would then keep the cards we had knocked down. My father, though, we called him Jerry, his first name. He wasn't with all that daddy, dad, father shit. Jerry would confiscate it all eventually, so we still had our hands to play games with. Myself and my sister Valentine made up creatures we called Jurgers. I originally got the idea by looking at Snoopy cartoons, and the little bird Woodstock to me looked like a forefinger and thumb forming a circle, and the rest of the fingers made his hair. We made 3 Jurgers from that character and even had some words of our own language. Yeah, I had fun as a kid. I guess you could call us resilient as hell. Jerry had a stick. It was a 2x2, not a 4x2, about the length of his forearm. Not a 2x4, about the length of his forearm. He would use that to hit us. He hit me many times with that stick, usually on the head. I still have scars on my head today from that stick. I slept under the table in the front room where food was set upon. I don't know if I just had too much energy or my father was a jerk. Probably a little of both. Either way, my job was to stay under that table all day asleep, or fake like I was asleep. My father would go to work as a longshoreman. I was still expected to be under the table. Well, almost as soon as a lock clicked on the door to him leaving, movement began. He had to catch the bus to work, so I don't remember that door ever opening directly after he left. We would get up and play throughout our building. Tag, our favorite game. We would run up and down all 7 stories of the Columbia Hotel. We even had lookouts for Jerry. My father never found out to my knowledge, but right around when we expected him home, one of us would sit at the top of the second landing stairs and look across the street. There was a glass we could see his reflection off of. When I saw that reflection, a rush of adrenaline would come over me and I would run and tell my brothers and sisters Jerry was coming. Like I stated earlier, my job was to be under the table, asleep. Sometimes the biting lice would itch so much, but I would have to scratch surreptitiously. I couldn't turn my head under the table either, and if I did, my father would throw a steel-toed boot at me. I remember my father would talk. He had a lot on his mind. He talked about the white man and how bad he was. He talked about Christianity, the white man's religion, and how bad it was. He talked about baseball and football because Tuklit wanted to join the team at school. He said the uniforms made them look like faggots. He would sometimes talk directly to my brother Tuklit, who was the oldest child in our hotel rooms. He would also talk directly to my mother and berated her constantly. I would be under the table for all this. This was almost okay for me, as I could scratch at leisure almost, and sometimes I would find something reflective and just watch him, if I was stealthy enough to turn on my side. I don't remember every beating with a stick, but there is one I remember pretty vividly. We kids have been playing tag, and Tukla told us not to use the old elevator in our building, as it was slow. Well, to the rest of us, that was like telling us to use the elevator. It was fun to push the buttons anyway. So that day we were in the elevator on the 3rd floor, and our father had already made it into our hallway on the 2nd floor. We came down the stairs and into our hallway and ran to a spot around the corner from the door of 220. We knew we couldn't get in after Jerry was in. We knew we were going to get beat. We decided to get in. The sooner the better. I remember my sister went in front of me. Jerry lit into her in front of me, and I think I yelled. So then it was my turn, and he went at me. I don't know why I was feeling particularly badass that day, but I actually put my arm up to guard my head. I think he was so mad he was going to hit my face with the stick. He broke my wrist. He splinted it with a ruler. It was the 80s, and the ruler was strong and made of good wood. We would often marvel at the stick. And my dad didn't take me to the hospital. He would offer Marvel at the stick when my father wasn't there, and the other kids were off from school. One day we discovered something about the stick. He had carved one part of it down so he could grip it better. There were a lot of other traumatic events that took place at 411 O'Farrell, but if I wrote them all down, I feel they would detract from the full story, and I'd never finish.
Wow.
So, yeah, thanks. That's part of it.
Wow. Bro. Wow. First of all, two things. Okay. A lot of stuff that you've read reminds me of me and my dad. And hearing you saying that puts me there. It put me there. You know what I mean? I had good times and bad times with my dad, and he whipped my ass all the time, bro, because I was an asshole, bro. I mean, if my dad say, don't touch that, and I'd be like, what, this? And I'll touch it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. And you know, like I had that relationship with my dad, like the same thing with you. And my dad was Peruvian, but he was very racist. He didn't like Puerto Ricans or black people, you know. So I had to go through that. But your story, bro, is so well read. You know what I mean? That
Thank you.
it kept me there. You know, every single word you said, it kept me there. You know, I want to put that on my Facebook, your story, because
Yeah,
bro,
go ahead.
you know,
You can. You got my permission. Go ahead.
for me, for this being the first episode, you made this. I can't top this off. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't actually expecting anybody to call. Maybe people will type in here and there, or, you know, I'll have some asshole call up and try to be smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't, dude, you blew me away, you know, and you're so well spoken, and your writing is so, I mean, I don't know. You ever read that to anybody?
I read it to a couple of people, friends. That's it.
And what do they say?
They really like it. Everybody so
Well,
far has really liked it.
to be honest with you, bro, do you write a lot?
Yeah, I do. I write poetry. I've written for a long time. I've been writing since high school.
I can tell. You publish any of that stuff?
I've only published one poem, a very short poem.
Yeah, you got that talent, bro. You got that talent I always wanted.
Well, you got the show, so it's not done. I just stopped because I didn't want to overwhelm you.
No, bro. I was waiting for more. After you were done, I was still quiet. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for more. Then you're like, okay, that's it. I'm
That's
like,
page 7. I got page up to page. I think I'm on. Hold on, 19. That's page 7. I could come back another day and read some more.
Bro, you could look. I'm gonna be on here every Wednesday at midnight. Okay, that's gonna be my gig. Okay, you're more than welcome to come in. You're more than welcome to talk to people with me if you like. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just doing something that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Me getting my shit out there, you getting your shit out there, it relieves you of a way. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm trapped inside this deal that I just, man, and people just don't get it. And I am such a happy person, bro. I wake up in the morning with a smile. I've been with my wife for 24 years. I cook for her. I clean for her. Bro, I get up in the mornings when she has to get up at 5 in the morning to warm up her towels on the dryer and fold it up and give it to her when she's taking a shower. You know what I mean? I'm one of those kind of people. And when you get depressed, fuck, it just sucks everything right out of you. Everything that anything that you want to do, it just drains the fuck out of you, and you don't
Yeah.
feel like doing anything, and it's really irritating because I'm one of those guys that I'm not an active guy, but I like to do things. You know what I mean? I'm a carpenter by trade. I built houses for 30 years, so I'm retired now because of the heart thing. But I like to do things, and sometimes when I sit at home and I feel like such a fucking loser because I can't go to work to provide for my family. You know what I mean? And it just kills me inside. A lot of people
Yeah.
have issues that are more serious than mine. Mine are basically, yes, financial, but I also have a bad heart. I don't know if you heard me in the beginning of the show, but I was explaining that I had a massive heart attack um,
Oh,
5 years ago,
okay.
and
Sorry to hear that.
that's and I killed half of my heart. I'm only pumping at 29%. I
Damn,
got
homie.
another. What's that?
I said, damn.
Yeah, so I got another appointment on the 15th with my chiropractor, not chiropractor, my cardiologist, and they're gonna tell me my results of my echo that they did like freaking 3 months ago. And they do the tests on you, and then it takes them months to get back to you, and it's just irritating because I want to know. I mean, if I'm still at 29%, or did I go down? I'm not going to go up because the heart never heals. Once it's dead, it's dead.
Damn.
So, yeah. So that's the way. That's the way. But if it starts going down, then we're gonna have some issues. They put a defibrillator in me,
Yeah.
in case anything happens. But that's all the part of the depression, bro. That started with me, man.
That
It
makes
started
sense.
with it started with my health problems, and then it went into my financial issues, and then it went to freaking everything else. But this anger thing that I've had this for years. I mean, I've always been that way. I just get at a drop of a hat, I'll get fucking pissed off,
Yeah.
But I take so much, you know what I mean, and it just stays in there, and it just builds and builds and builds. It's unbelievable. And then after that one little thing that happens, man, it's like boom, and it's like you mother, and then it gets to a point that my wife gets so scared she just like don't know what to do,
Yeah.
because uh, you
Man.
can't control you can't control me when I'm angry, you know, and
Yeah.
one of those
You
deals.
don't have an outlet.
No, no, I know. That's why I smoke pot. I smoke pot every day, and it calms me down because I could be out there and like say me and the old lady are arguing about something. We never really argue. We argue once in a while, but the times we do, it gets a little heated. And I'll be like, "Motherfucker, son of a bitch!" Go in I got a studio, so I'm sitting here in my garage. Slam the door, sit down, roll one up, smoke. Take about 20 minutes. Then I get up. I'll open the door and I'll be like, "Hey, everybody! I love everybody again."
Yeah.
It's like the best thing for me, and it gets a bad rap. You know what I mean? People don't understand marijuana is so important to so many people, especially like me. You know what I mean? I don't smoke marijuana to get stoned and stupid because I don't. I have it. in a long time. I just get high just to get my mind straight because my mind is like moving constantly, bro. It's like moving pictures. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's why I have a lot. Like I said, I didn't really explain myself yet. Well, because I was getting there, and then you called in. This is the first show. I have a band. Actually, I have two bands. I do a cooking show with my wife on YouTube. I just finished my first short film. And I got like five more to do in my head, and my head is just explodes with stuff. You know what I mean? And trying like my wife bitches at me. She goes, "Why don't you just pick one thing and concentrate on that?" I was like, "I can't because when I concentrate on one thing, if I concentrate on my music, I'm thinking what I'm going to do with my movie. You know what I mean? Or what am I going to do with this? And what am I going to do with that? That's why I can't pick one.
Yeah.
It's gotta be everything or nothing. So I think people that have mental issues like you and I, and are very creative people. Like
Yeah.
the story, your creativity is the way you tell a story, the way you read, the way you write. You know what I mean? And it's really, really good, bro. You have, like I said, you have that thing that keeps people listening. I heard every single thing you said, bro. And
That's
that's
all I
why.
can ask.
And no, and I'm not like that either. Sometimes when people talk, and especially when it gets long, it's like me. If I talk too much, it gets too long. I get too many times, you know. And when I have a point to get across, I always tell people, wait till I finish. When I finish, all your questions will be answered. Okay, but if you interrupt me while I'm in a row, I'll forget what I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. And it's been happening a lot. And I'm scared I'm losing my mind.
You're just
No,
getting older, bro.
no, but look, I be talking right. And I'll be like, I'll be telling you a mad ass story. Like, it's a good story. And all of a sudden, like, you'll stop me and you ask me a question. And then after that, my mind goes blank. I have no idea what I was just talking about, bro. It's so fucked up. I don't know. I don't get where I'm at. And people are like, "Really? You don't remember?" I was like, "No, they have to tell me. You were telling me about this, and that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got it." Then they'll click back on. So
That's just probably because you had such a quick mind when you were younger. Now that you're getting older, because a
yeah,
lot of people do that, even though they're not even as old as us. Or
because I know I have ADHD too. I wasn't diagnosed with it because when I was a kid, they didn't have those tests, so nobody knew that. They just thought I wasn't learning. You know what I mean? I was like an F student. If I got a D, dude, I was like, yes,
yeah,
celebrate like it's an A. I was shitty at sports. I was the worst at sports. I went to. I was in Little League. I was playing outfield, and my dad always like he never really came to the games, but this one time he comes to the game. So then I get the ball. It gets hit out to me. I look up, and as I look up, like the sun was in my way. So I was like, and the ball like went over me. At that point, there was a bird that flew by. Apparently, that's what my dad says. And he makes a joke out of it. He's like, "Oh yeah," he's going for the ball, and I was like, "Oh, look at the pretty bird," because he used to fuck with me all the time.
Yeah.
So that kind of like, and he kind of got disappointed, and I saw it all the way from the outfield. He was in the bleachers, face disappointment when I fucking screwed up that play, and then he just got up and went home. And then after that, every game that I had, I would go and get dirt, like just the dirt, and rub it all over my uniform, make it look like I did something when I got home. But I sucked so bad, and hey, I disappointed him, so I don't know. But he was a good dad. He was a provider. He worked very hard to
Yeah.
support us. So, in that account, no. Did he like me? No, he didn't like me because I was an asshole. And I didn't realize that years later because we stopped talking for like 10 years. And when we started talking again, I told him, I said, look, sorry for being an asshole when I was a kid. And I understood. And we made up. No, seriously, we made up. And then he wound up dying after that. But at least he died. We made peace. You know what I mean? He met my daughter. He lived with me. I apologized. We started over. But they died of heart attacks, both of my parents. My mom died at 48, and my dad died at 63.
Yeah.
And what's funny is my mom died at 48 of her massive heart attack. I had my massive heart attack at 48. So if you want to talk about coincidence, I was like,
I thought you were gonna say your dad had a heart attack at 48 also.
no,
Say that.
just me and my
But
mom.
then he died later.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, how do you, same age, like I tell that to the chiropractor. I'm not chiropractor. Why are you saying chiropractor? I'm cardiologist. And they're like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah. My dad died at 63. He had a massive heart attack. Shit, I don't know. If he was 63, it was probably 10 years. So he was in his 50s when he had his first heart attack. And then they opened him up. And that's when they can tell how many heart attacks you have. Because you could have a heart attack and not even know it. He had 5 before his massive one. I had 4. So, yeah, I had no idea, bro. No clue. I had 4 heart attacks before. Because the thing is, they're not that strong, but they're strong enough to bruise your heart. So it's like, I guess it's like rings in a tree. It tells you how many heart attacks you had by the bruises or whatever. But yeah, so to me, my time is limited. You know what I mean? I could die any time, any day. My heart would just give out. But before I go, I want to do good, man. I want to help people out, man. And if I can help people out like you know what I mean? And you get all your aggravation out or your whatever you have inside out, and it helps other people. Maybe it gets more people on here and help other people. That'd be great. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. What state you live in? You
New Mexico.
New Mexico?
Yeah, where you live?
I'm in Florida. I'm in Orlando.
Okay.
I'm where?
Yeah, I'm in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Oh, man, I would love to go over there. The wife and I are we're going to because my daughter's 14 now, so in 4 years when she's 18, she's out of the house. We're selling everything, getting an RV, and just traveling. and going to
Yeah.
live on my disability. It just be me and her, and we're going to go everywhere. I told her wherever 75 degrees is, that's where we're going to go. Everywhere we're going to go for a month. So that way we get to travel. We have no kids. We're good. But
Yeah.
it takes some time and money that we don't have. So,
Well,
but
I did get a little bit out, so I do feel a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. So that's a good thing.
that's cool, man. I'm glad, man. I'm glad I met
You
a friend.
accomplish your task. You accomplish your task with one person.
Well, that's good. But hey, you know what? Like I said, I'll be on again next Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And then
I followed you.
if we get somebody else in and talk to them and listen to their story, you know what I mean? But I would love to hear more of your story, bro. Seriously,
Okay.
you got me as a fan, bro. I could
Okay.
buy your first book, bro. No, because
Man, if I ever finish this
I
motherfucker.
I write. I mean, I write. I have stuff in my head, but it's hard for me to put it on paper. You know what I mean? And try to
Yeah.
get people to understand what's in your head. And the way you do it and explain it, it's really good. I mean, I'm not blowing up your head or anything, but
Nah,
you're
don't worry. I'm not making any money off this, so you're not blowing up my head. Don't worry about it.
man, you never know, man. That could probably be your niche. You know, just keep putting stuff out there, keep writing shit, open up your own page, bro, and just write. People would read. I would do it like an audio thing too, because you're very well spoken, and when you tell the story, it's very, it's like wow, I'm like you can't wait to the next thing. So I would put it both ways, because like me, I'm not a reader. I can read, but since I have ADHD, I'll be reading something, and after I'm done with that paragraph, I forgot what I read. I have to go back again and read it again. It's bad, bro. It's the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and that's why that's why I get pissed when I go to like YouTube and I watch videos all the time because that's the only way I can see. I don't want to read it. I want to see it on video. So I'll go on video and they'll have the video, but the words come out. Like you have to read anyway. I'm like, this is what I want. I want somebody to talk to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, with the way you do it, I have something nice prepared for next week, and shit, I'll listen to you all night long, bro.
All right, bro.
Maybe we could do a thing like this every Wednesday.
Okay. I'm probably gonna call in next week. I don't think I don't see why I wouldn't. I ain't got shit to do.
Right.
So, all
We can
right.
hang for an hour and bullshit and help each other out, see how we get.
What's your name, brother?
Oscar.
Oscar. I'm Marty.
Yeah, Marty. My name's not on here.
No, it says let's talk depression.
Oh, okay. I don't have my name out there. Yeah. I usually everything that I have is like something with Oscar G because that's my thing name, Oscar G. So like
Okay.
my cooking show is Rock in the Kitchen with Oscar G. Um,
Okay.
I do when I grow like a fucking nasty beard and I shave, I do shaving time with Oscar G. So what I do is I sit there and basically go live on Facebook and shave and talk of what's going on in my life. That's how I get my mental thing going out. And
Cool.
I have a lot of things going on. So, but yeah, man, no, I'm happy you called, and hopefully everything goes good for you. And you call me next week.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, brother.
Well, you too, man.
I
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
You be safe.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Wow, that is a cool ass call for the first episode. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, Marty, you blew it out of the park, bro. And hopefully we'll talk next week. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I'm not going to keep this dragging, so we'll continue everything next week, and hopefully we'll get some more people, and some people will call, and we still help out everybody, help out each other. How about that? All right, guys. Thank you very much, and then I'll see you next week. Bye bye.